Good morning, Kipsters, and happy Monday. Mr. Franklin coming to you live from the Dust Bowl here in the 1930s. Of course, that's not true. I'm cheesy. It's not reality. Couple updates before we start working on body paragraph 3 of your DBQ today. Of course, most, if not all of you have heard that school is canceled. In-class school is canceled for the remainder of the school year. That comes following the day with the most amount of coronavirus deaths, 125. So Governor Pritzker has canceled in-school classes for the remainder of the year. We will continue teaching. You will continue to get grades for e-learning, and we will continue our march towards high school. I just want to say that when I heard the news about school closing, I was not surprised. I thought it was going to happen, but I was truly devastated. I miss and love all of you, and I can't wait for us to be reunited. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Are we having graduation? Are we having promotion? All of that information will come shortly, and we will get together and celebrate your promotion. But most importantly, we need to be learning and getting your grades. So we are going to be talking about, again, DBQ body paragraph 3. But let's look at engagement from Friday and over the weekend. So it looks like we have in first place, we have Notre Dame with 11. Way to go. Engagement is increasing. We have Princeton with 10 and U of I with 8. So we're keeping this same order 1, 2, 3. I want to see a little bit of difference, a little bit of change eventually. I want to see Notre Dame still on top because they are the best. But the other classes I want to see improve as well. Let's get right into our work, and let's go into body paragraph 3. All right. So we'll come back to this. Let's look at the outline here. So we have baby thesis number 3, the final cause of the Dust Bowl was. And we're going to say that the final cause of the Dust Bowl was drought. So that should be what you write for the first sentence. I had a couple people tell me, oh, I'm really confused about the DBQ. I want to remind you, you just follow the freaking outline. So right now, today, we're in body paragraph 3, and we're going to start off with the claim that the first cause or the final cause or the last cause of the Dust Bowl was drought. Right now, it's probably a good point, and I'll put this in here, let's go ahead and add a letter, define key terms, and in this case, let's define drought. So what I want you to do is I want you to go into Google and define the word drought and say the dictionary defines drought as, and put quotes around it and give me what drought is defined as. Let's go ahead and see what documents we might be looking at when we are figuring out what Dust Bowl. Let me search for this, sorry. This is not totally ready. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at what document you're going to be looking at. So we're either looking at dusters, grass, Fred Folkers, acreage under plow, and rainfall. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you a hint. Rainfall on the plains in the 1930s is going to be the major document that you want, so document E. So let's go ahead and look at document E. So normal annual precipitation. Now, precipitation means rainfall for 5 Dust Bowl towns. Here's an important note that you're going to include in your reasoning when you write. It says, John Wesley Powell, the great Western explorer, determined that 20 inches of rain annually was the minimum for successfully farming on the plains. But he said, quote, at 20 inches, agriculture will not be uniformly successful from season to season. So look at these years, look at this amount of rain. You have 17, 17, 17, 16, 18. All these towns way below what you need to grow. And look how bad it is in Dallam County, Texas. You have, in 1934, you had 9.78 inches of rain, which is, according to John Wesley Powell, half of the amount of rain that you need in order for things to grow. And again, this is part of your reasoning. If there's not rainfall, plants are not growing, crops are not growing, grass is not growing, that means that the ground will not have vegetation. That vegetation holds the dirt, the soil on the ground. But if it's not there and wind comes, it's going to start dust storms, and that's what's going to be the Dust Bowl. So let's go back to our outline. So after we've said the final cause was drought, we define drought. We want to introduce the document that we're going to be using. So we're going to use document E. Document E, titled, what was the title of this document? Let's go back up because I forget. Document E titled Rainfall in the Plains. Rainfall in the Plains in the 1930s is a chart that shows how much it rained in various Dust Bowl areas in the 1930s. Then I'm going to provide the quote. The document states, and I'm going to provide that quote from the document. So the document states, let's put that quote. Watch this. I'm going to copy that. Let's see if that works. Nope, didn't work. John Wesley Powell. I'm going to put that whole quote all the way from there to farming on the plains. Then I'm going to give some evidence. I'm going to say something like, but in many Great Plains cities, there was not at least 20 inches of rain for many years. Now I'm going to provide the cities. I'm going to say, for example, here's my evidence. I'm going to say, for example, let's look at one of the ones we can use. In Goodland, Kansas. Now let's use Boise City, Oklahoma. For example, in Boise City, Oklahoma, and I spelled Oklahoma wrong, but that's okay. We can fix it later. In Boise City, Oklahoma, there were 17 inches of rain. Things were even worse in, what was that area of Texas? Dallam County, Texas. In 1934, there was only 9.78 inches of rain. Okay, so that's my evidence. Now I'm going to put this whole quote from John Wesley Powell. When you put the whole quote. I just didn't type it just so we can get through this. Now the reasoning is going to explain why that's going to cause issues with the Dust Bowl. If there is not enough rain, then grass and vegetation can't grow. If grass and vegetation can't grow, there's nothing to hold the dirt down, and wind can create dust storms. Thus, drought is a major cause of the Dust Bowl. That's it. That's our body paragraph 3, guys. That's all you have to do. Now, I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete that out. Obviously, you can pause your screen at this point if you want to check it out for an example, and you'll know how to write body paragraph 3. So let's go back to what we were working, or let's go back to our shout-outs, okay? All right. All right, just have a couple of shout-outs for you today, Kipster. I got Tanaya Landers giving a shout-out to Cassidy for always checking in on me and Jayla. waking me up at 9 and going through my classes with me. So shout out from Tanaya to Cassidy. I have a shout out from London to Africa. She says, shout out to Africa because she always checks on me. And I have a shout out to Shamaya Ford. She is on her game, getting her work done every single day. She is just on point. All right, guys, that is body paragraph 3. Tomorrow we're going to look into writing your conclusion. I'm going to return all your documents to you, and you will be ready to rock and roll. All right, guys, you have a good night. I love you. Get all your work done.